It was a beautiful day. I don't think there was even a cloud in the sky. It was 65 degrees, the water was clear, the surf was phenomenal. I actually had one of the best surfing days I've had on the Oregon coast ever. I went past the break and just was kind of resting on my board, vertical, just resting my arms on the board, and I was maybe there for 5-10 minutes before the shark bit down on my leg. I thought it was a boat that hit me, just because you get that jarring feeling, kind of like someone gets rear-ended, you know, you kind of don't know what happens. And I saw gills in front of me. They were, you know, a foot away from my face. And then, you know, reality set in. It's a shark. This is how people die. I figured that there's gills in front of me, that's how they breathe. They're probably pretty fragile, they're full of blood. And so I just decided to start hitting them. And I don't know how many times I hit them, but it was very quick from the thought I had of hitting them to when he actually released me. Looking behind me, my board was soaked in blood. There was a trail of blood behind me, and you know, Hollywood has built this idea that sharks smell blood, they're gonna come attack. So I was really worried about it coming back, and that was probably the scariest part of the entire experience, was just waiting for it to come back. I just cruised all the way till my fins dug in the sand and my board stopped. Everyone came from all directions. There was, I mean, probably 30 people on the beach. In a sense, it was really lucky that it was me, because I had, you know, the training to understand the severity of it. And I just asked people what they saw, you know. Tell me if you see any arterial bleeding, any gushing blood. Do you see a lot of blood? I was like, well, let's tie a tourniquet just in case. And somebody, you know, immediately ripped off their shirt, tied it around my leg. It wasn't tied enough, and so I told them to use my leash on my board. Taught them to tie a square knot so it wouldn't come loose. And police officers showed up and they tied a proper tourniquet on my leg.
I had 2 tours through operations while I was in the Marine Corps. I was with the 1st Battalion, 5th Marines. And during that time, I was a combat lifesaver and received medical training. I put my tourniquet on above it, made sure it was properly placed on there, and then I got QuikClot and packed his wounds. His leg was pretty torn up on both the top and bottom of the thigh, so I had 2 QuikClot gauze pads and packed both areas to help with controlling the area.
And then the ambulance showed up.
Considering where the shark bite was, there's a lot of vessels there, arterial vessels that are pretty big, and you can bleed out very quickly from a bite that size. And not knowing what to do, placing the tourniquet in the right spot, you can potentially bleed out in a matter of minutes and probably not even make it to the ambulance.
I remember waking up or coming to in the trauma bay. I had a manual in the ED, and I was holding my coworker Michelle's hand in my left hand and my coworker Jamie's hand in my right hand, and I remember just having that sense of relief again, just being like, I'm home, I'm safe, there's no sharks here.
One of the first responders was a recent war veteran who'd been trained in the appropriate use of tourniquets, which the use of a tourniquet is actually quite sophisticated in that it needs to control bleeding but not actually cut off the blood supply to the limb. It really speaks to the importance of adequate training for first responders in the use of basic things like tourniquet application, splinting for fractures, monitoring for compartment syndrome, that really make the difference between long-term disability, even occasionally amputation, and essentially a normal functional outcome. I always joke with Joseph that now all he has to do is go to any bar in a tropical area and wear shorts, and you know, he has plenty of stories to tell. Can get free drinks all around.
I have a reaffirmed appreciation for having more fun in my life. The biggest thing is the relationships that I have with the people in my life. Your house can burn down tomorrow, and you feel like nothing's left, but really it's all the people in your life are left. I'm grateful that I was so lucky. I'm grateful that I had so many people help me on the beach, in the parking lot, in the hospital, and I'm grateful that I just got the most unconditional support from everyone, from strangers, from friends, from family, from coworkers, and I'm so grateful to be alive.